The Switch 2 is out there, and one piece of the discussion that's out there is this right here. So this is beat 'em ups, and he says, "Call me crazy, but the packaging is far too similar and a bit confusing for the general public."
I don't know, that giant 2 on there is kind of obvious.
At first glance, you would say, yeah, that's kind of obvious. But have you ever met people like in stores? They don't look at shit, you know?
Yeah, the wall people.
Have you worked retail?
No, my brother does.
Okay, because you sound like somebody that knows. You sound like somebody
I've been around retail, so like
here's
most
the thing.
People just grab things. If
people
it
are
looks
stupid
similar to what they're looking for, they'll just grab it and then just walk off, not even look at it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's like grandma's buying stuff.
People
for the
are
grandkids.
stupid. Okay. Now
this is going to be a little bit different though, because I mean, I imagine that these consoles aren't just going to be on the shelf for people to grab. You're going to have to go up to the counter. They're going to grab it for you.
Probably.
At least for a little bit.
Scrolling online, people scrolling online on I don't know, on Amazon and stuff like that. They type Switch on Amazon, some grandma, and it's like, oh, look, a Switch.
Yeah, well, it sounds like their problem.
I understand the point that Wood is making here. It's a valid point, but at the same time, like, there's only so much you can do to prevent stupid people from being stupid. That big number 2 is a pretty big difference. But if you have worked retail like I have, you understand that people are very stupid. Now, I have never worked GameStop before, and thoughts and prayers to anybody who's ever had to work GameStop, because I've been in GameStop many a times, hanging out while my friends were there, and I heard the questions that GameStop employees get from customers, and it is the most infuriating thing I've ever heard. The stupidity from soccer moms and grandmas calling the GameStop and just asking the most insane questions, and you have to answer it, and all your answer does is leads to another stupid question and another stupid question. So I could 100% see a mom going in there and going, my kid wants a Nintendo Switch, and just grabs a Nintendo Switch and then gets home, and then the kids start screaming, and then a big fight happens. So what does everybody think? Does everybody think that this is going to be the biggest video game launch of all time based on what you've seen?
Most likely,
I don't know.
It does seem like it. It seems like it. It seems like this is based on the stuff that's out there, based on the things that I'm hearing. But I do feel that I am in a bit of an echo chamber within my what I follow and the things I'm paying attention to, because I obviously follow a lot of Nintendo accounts and Nintendo channels, so I'm kind of in that world. But the data that is being released by independent places suggests that this could be the biggest video game launch of all time.
I think right off rip, we're going to see a lot of people, because there's not very many exclusives. There's Mario Kart World, and then in a few months you get Donkey Kong Bonanza. So with the few exclusives, you're going to have a lot of people who are comparing how old games are running on the Switch 2, and also the Switch 2 upgrades, which I'm not sure when the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 upgrade comes out, but we're going to see people comparing how the Switch 1 games perform on the Switch 2, and people are going to look at that and they're going to make their judgment. They're going to say, I'm not going to fork out the $500 on the Switch 2 when it doesn't perform any better than the Switch, and I don't really care about Donkey Kong Bonanza, or if they don't care about Super Mario, the Mario Kart World. So I think we're going to get a lot of that.
Specific case on those Zelda games, it will be a big jump from performance, because those games on the Switch 1 sometimes run on the 20s frames per second.
I don't know. I got a feeling, like, to be perfectly honest with you, if it weren't for like the Wednesday gaming and Mario Kart, I'd probably wait on this. I would probably wait until there was a Zelda launch.
Well, that's what most people are thinking, because I think the exclusivity is the most important. The exclusive games are the most important part in this discussion of whether or not it's going to be the biggest selling console of all time. Because people like me, I don't care that much about Mario Kart World. At this point, it would be buying the console for Mario Kart World, and that's a discussion that a lot of people are having. Why are we buying a
Bingo.
$500 game, essentially, when you think about it like that, you're spending $500 for a single game. No one can justify that without extenuating circumstances or a great love like you guys are, but they needed more exclusives. Can you imagine? We would not even be having this discussion about it maybe being the biggest selling game of all time if they had, I don't know, delayed Mario Wonder and didn't talk about it until right at launch and made it a Switch 2 exclusive at launch, Mario Kart World, and a Zelda game. Just 3 big exclusive franchises that appeal to different audiences. There would be no doubt whatsoever that it'd be the biggest. But at this point, it's buying a console for one game. $500 for a game is not something that everyone's going to do. And I think that's going to hurt it. And we of course don't know in the longevity if it's going to be the highest selling console of all time until people get it in their hands. But the launch is the discussion because I think Nintendo had poor planning. There should have been more exclusives. There should have been better marketing. There should be better communication with the customers who care. That I think there's a lot of missteps here. They're still going to win big and go home happy, but it could have been so much better if they thought through and prepared better.
We're streaming Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the last time this week, right?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yep.
That's
Well,
great,
I mean,
man.
let's just say, in theory, we are.
Okay.
Okay, because we could go like, man, Mario Kart World sucks. Let's get back to Mario
Oh,
Kart.
no.
It's more communist than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Let's go back.
But in
Wouldn't that be
theory, in theory, yes, this could be our last, last Mario Kart 8 stream, at least for
That's
the foreseeable
bittersweet.
future. So that is, man, we've been playing this game forever.
That's how
Yeah.
I started to hang out with you guys. I was talking to Krista about it.
Yep.
After my first FNT, you invited me to play Mario Kart.
Yeah, and then here we are. All these
Yeah.
we've
So
been
many
playing Mario
memories.
Kart for a long fucking time, man.
What a
been like
huge
6
fucking
years.
mistake that was.
Huge
Picking
mistake.
Rainbow Road and Dragons Raceway every fucking time. I'm so sick of Dan. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it will be interesting. We'll see. Mario Kart World has to stick the landing. I did see this article, which is pretty funny. WWE superstar Cody Rhodes labels modern day Mario Kart and Mario Party unfair when compared to the classics. Let's go. He's
That needs to
not
be our
wrong.
next thumbnail
That is a great
Just
thumbnail,
sitting
by the
there.
way. That's a great thumbnail.
for our Mario Kart streams. Oh my gosh.
And that face needs to someone needs to AI Jeremy's face on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Like here it is right here. Is it
Oh, this was at
unmuted?
Epic Universe.
Yeah, he was at Epic Universe.
We and no, it would be Switch. Now, 64 I grew up, but when we got together, it was Switch was in the game. Yeah, in 64 Mario Kart is still holds up to this day, and a little bit more fair than modern Mario Kart, where I feel like you can just drop that blue shell and like your lack of skill is like rewarded. Often,
It is rewarded.
which is the same with Mario Party, by the way.
Chain shop, by the way.
Yeah.
Dude, Mario Party is bullshit. I don't know if you
Yeah.
played the recent Mario.
Yes.
They just hand out, stars to
Yeah.
retarded people at the end. New
It's
Mario.
ridiculous.
So, yeah, it's infuriating for sure. It will be interesting to say the least. So we will see. We'll know next week. And again, Geeks and Gamers
Indeed.
Play. We're going to be playing it over there a lot. So if you're not subscribed to that channel, you should be.